You are Locked On Texas Tech, your daily podcast on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Great to be with you again on Locked On Texas Tech on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, always free and available on YouTube or anywhere you get podcasts. Now the number one sports podcast network in the world. Today's episode brought to you by Mazda. We put that same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment, putting in the work that defines you. Stay tuned for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you. With the only Chris Level, I'm Casey Cowan. Chris, great to be back with you. Game day eve upon us. We'll be back at it soon enough from United Supermarkets Arena as the Red Raiders welcome to town the Bearcats of Cincinnati for a really intriguing Tuesday night matchup. We'll get to that more so in full as we set the table for it on our next episode. On this episode, Chris, I wanted to catch up with you on something that we touched on briefly recently. Given what we had going into the weekend as far as news with JT Toppin and obviously the shifting landscape for Tech as a team and tournament considerations, seeding, all of this sort of getting tossed up in the air. So you go into the weekend with that all on your mind. You do what you do against K-State, about 15-point favorite to tip it off. You wind up as almost a 30-point winner. You get into this week, and with now something to process from the NCAA tournament committee, selection committee, that represents an actual official glance, because it is the only time we get to see it. I want to ask you about that as well before we get to a selection Sunday. We've sort of got a precedent, or at least I guess a line to start with here as we make this stretch run now post JT Toppin. And it's got me thinking maybe a little bit differently as a fan than I thought I would be come this time. I want to ask you about sort of the thought of either holding and maintaining some ground, or is there actually some to possibly gain for the Red Raiders as we roll through these final few games. But let me throw it up on the screen for those who maybe have not seen it just yet. This is the look from the selection committee as far as top 16 are concerned. So you got a group of 4 1 seeds, 4 2 seeds, 4 3 seeds, and 4 4 seeds. That's where we find Texas Tech in that collection of 4 seeds with the number 13 beside their name. So, Chris, knowing what this comes from as far as what it really means with, I think as you said maybe on yesterday's show, eyes that matter and perspective that matters, what do we make of this, and what do we make of opportunity still ahead for the Red Raiders when it comes to the games up ahead of them?
Well, yeah, Cowan, and what sticks out is based on that turn. And again, they released this Saturday morning, so obviously some games have been played since. Iowa State loses to BYU, Houston loses to Arizona. But bottom line, as that looks right now, you've beaten 2 1 seeds and a 2 seed this season. Pretty damn good. Nice. Yeah. So, and no matter what anybody feels about JT Toppin or the outlook or the ceiling, that those are part of your team sheet. Okay. And that's why, because of the wins above you on that graphic, that's why you're listed where you're listed. I think that Keith Gill, he is the commissioner of the Sun Belt Conference. He's the chairman of the selection committee, and he was quoted as saying, "Yeah, we did have Texas Tech on the 3 line, but we bumped them, basically like almost like one spot, one." Instead of the overall 12 seed, you're the overall 13 seed. So it changes the dynamic in that you would now play, on the 4 line, you play the 5th seeded team on paper in the second round, and you would have to play the 1 seeded team in the Sweet 16 and all that. But as we know, much of this doesn't actually hold true. It's just the way that they try to set the thing up. So used to, Cowan, they would pop this thing out to you once a week, similar to what the football committee does. And there may not be this special television show that they were bending over backwards on with these bracket reveals and this top 16 seeds or anything like that, but you were getting it. And then I think that was either a year or 2 ago, they decided to just give you this one glimpse to tell you what they were thinking and do the mock bracket. They invited media to Indianapolis last week to do kind of their own version of this, which was, I think, a bit different than what the actual selection committee releases here, which is what we are looking at. But this is it. This is all you're going to see from them and hear from them until Selection Sunday, which is in about, 3 weeks? It's maybe, I think, 2 weeks from this coming Sunday. I think if I believe I'm right there, or 3 weeks from this coming Sunday. Anyway, we're not too far off at all from the actual bracket. What it tells you is that they thought very highly of what you had put together with JT, without JT, whatever. It also tells you that if you can hold your water a bit here, you're not going to fall too far. Like it almost appears to me that, I guess, if the wheels fell off and you lost the next 4 or 5 in a row, you could drop to the 6 or the 7 line. But if you'll just kind of, go 500, like at worst, you're probably going to be a 5 seed. Now, again, I could be wrong, but I just, because I don't know. Here's the other thing. I don't know if you have JT Toppin if you're going into Ames, Iowa and winning. I don't know if you're doing that when you go to Provo. But then some will say, well, you just did it with Arizona. Yes, you did. You also just turned right around and lost a game where he played 20 to 25 minutes and, losing to Arizona State, and he gets hurt with 6 to go. So we can play I know what you're capable of. Well, but I also know what you're capable of. We can play that till we're blue in the face. You're probably like the Ken Palm folks. You are up to, at last check, you are up to, I believe, 16th in the country overall. They've got you going 2-2 over your last 4, winning your 2 home games, losing your 2 road games. If you were to do that, I think it would be based, it would largely be based on what most expect. So I bet you still hold in this, 4 to 5 seed range. And it looks like here, a lot of people have you as the best amongst the 4 seeds. So it would take a little bit to fall all the way off the 4 line. But it is a pretty good indication that you're not necessarily going to be punished much, if any at all, without JT, as long as you will do your part down the stretch. Now that's where the devil's in the details here. You beating Cincinnati is going to be no easy task. It just so happens that their 2 best players on paper are 2 big men, and so anyway, we can play that game out. But anyway, it's just it's a good indication though that you're in a pretty good spot as it relates to what the selection committee feels about you now. And I am told that they were aware.
First, today's episode brought to you by Indeed. And hiring isn't just about finding somebody willing to take the job. It's about finding the right person with the right background who can actually make a hand in moving your business forward. And if you want candidates who match what you're looking for, Indeed sponsored jobs is the only move to make. Instead of hoping the right person stumbles across your post randomly, Indeed helps you match with quality candidates by boosting your job listing to the people who fit your specific criteria, whether it's a skill set, specific certifications, location, or more. And that saves massive time because you're spending less energy sorting through mismatches and focusing only on those candidates who are actually a fit. Here's proof in the pudding that says it all. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies just like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed sponsored jobs. And right now, Locked On Texas Tech listeners will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed. Today's episode brought to you by Open Door Financial. And if you're a Red Raider balancing family and career this time of year, you're probably assessing the year gone by, forecasting for the future. And whether it's retirement, getting out of debt, leaving a legacy for your kids, or more, Here's the thing. Open Door Financial is the one that's doing it the way that's best suited for you and your family's interests. Most advisors trying to sell something hit quotas, only working with clients with huge investment minimums, but that's not how they do it at Open Door Financial Advisors. And Chris, even better, it's a Red Raider that you're going to be talking with. Founded by a 2007 Texas Tech grad right here in Lubbock, and now over a decade and a half spent helping Red Raiders.
Yeah, Cowan, Derek lives in Lubbock. He's buying pizzas for the campers out there before these football and basketball games, things like that. He gives back. He's a trusted Texas Tech guy. I know that so many people out there, whatever they're trying to do, they want to do business with fellow Red Raiders. This is your man. So, Derek Finley, phenomenal guy you can trust. And it doesn't matter if you're flush and trying to figure out what to do with it, or if you're just trying to budget and trying to get out of debt, anything in between, he's your guy. He will take care of you and get you pointed in the right direction.
That's right. Over a decade and a half serving Red Raider families across the country, one simple mission, helping you gain financial freedom and peace of mind, no matter where you are starting from. And it's a subscription-based fee-only model, so never earning commissions on anything they're selling you, which means no hidden agendas, no investment minimums, only straightforward advice, all while living by West Texas values, truth, and grit. So if you're ready to work toward financial freedom, visit opendoorfa.com, opendoorfa.com to connect with Open Door Financial Advisors, honest guidance for Red Raider families who want to take care of what matters most.
And I am told that they were aware that they did this in the middle of the week is when they really put this thing together, like your Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday-ish is really when they hammered down. They were well aware of JT Toppin being out for the year. They were also well aware that you had lost to Arizona State. All that. They had all that info at their disposal before they put this together and sent it out to everybody. So that's why I think it's important to note that, because if you'd have beaten Arizona State and JT Toppin was healthy, it's pretty clear you're a 3 seed right now, which is what you were last year, and that was kind to you.
So it's got me really maybe dreaming a little bit more bigly than I anticipated last week, Chris, about not only holding your ground and what you can do if you were just simply holding the line at home, going 500 over this last handful of ball games, you could maintain, I think, where you are. But is there actually some ground to gain in a very specific way? I'm not even talking about like rattling off upsets on the road. Could you beat a right now quad 1 TCU team bad enough? Could you beat Cincinnati just outside, I think, of a quad 1 team right now bad enough to gain any ground, or are we already kind of bumping, our head on our ceiling and it's just about hold the line? We know what happens if you pull off some type of wizardry in Ames or Provo. You're probably gaining some ground. So we know what happens there. But as far as these home opportunities, is there enough meat on the bone, you think, where actually you could improve your resume, or is it just about maintain what you got?
What is interesting is that, and again, I think the computer models and the data, they don't know that JT Toppin's not playing anymore, right? Like they don't. That's not how it works. It's
Stupid
like
robot.
Yeah, this team, this offense, this defense, and all that. And now, if your numbers change without him in the lineup and all that, then it will start to reflect that. But these are new numbers. But it doesn't have any heart or feeling or remorse or anything like that, right? So
right, skepticism.
Yeah.
So
the problem you have about trying to, I'm more in line with the hold the line thought than anything, because here's what some of the computer models feel like about, say, your game versus Cincinnati, which I think we know now they're red hot. They have won 4 in a row. They are in the top 50 of the KenPom and the net and all the things. The computers feel like you should win this game by 11 points. Can you do better than that? Maybe. But that's what it like. If you ask me right now, hey man, would you take winning by 4? I don't give a damn what how much more you got than the other guy. I'll take it and go.
That's the starting line where we've got to be and beyond to think about like improving anything. And that seems like a heck of a big number against this
Exactly.
team. Because I'm not a robot. I know JT Toppin's not on the floor.
right.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But it doesn't know that. Like it's got you beating TCU the following week by 13. Now, granted, it has you only losing to Iowa State by 7. At this point, I'm like, hey, you'd be kind of in that game. Might have a chance at the end. Is that realistic? They haven't lost at home. So this is the battle that you're fighting here.
I got you.
So that's just. I hope I've explained that correctly. But like the all the data that's out there, it's yes, you can pull. There's certain of these sites that you can say take JT Toppin out of the equation and let's play the models out that way. But that's not the way the committee is looking at it. They're only looking at. Now maybe they'll have a conversation of like, let's look at what their rating efficiency was here, and then let's look at it post JT Top. But ultimately, again, that's not really their job. Their job is to count February the 15th as much as November the 15th and everything in between and everything before that and after that and all the stuff. And what does it all equal, And so you have a chance to certainly improve. You could really wow some people, I think, because you pointed out to me, Cowan, all the media folks and all the bracketology and all this and that, it's like they have all just dropped you because they're thinking about the way it's eventually going to end up.
They tied your noose.
Yes.
I think they wanted to take our tournament bid away.
Yeah, but the committee doesn't. They don't care what any of those folks say. And I get what the media member that's doing a bracket, I get what they're thinking. They're trying to skip to the end and assume a lot, and they may be right. I don't know. That's Grant and them's job to be. Because here's the other point, and I'll wrap up and we'll be done with this conversation. But here's what you're looking at. As a 4 seed, you're looking at a first-round game against some of the following. UNC Wilmington should sound familiar. That's who you opened up against last year. SFA, North Dakota State, Austin Peay, UC Irvine, Portland State, High Point, California Baptist. It would also equal a second-round game to get to the Sweet 16 against one of the following. Just pick you one here. Arkansas, you've seen them before. St. John's, North Carolina, who's also dealing with a pretty significant injury. Kentucky, Louisville, BYU, which you're about to see them. Tennessee, Vanderbilt. So you can kind of get a feel of the group that you may see early and then what it would. I'm just not going to be shocked if you can beat 2 of these teams if you can continue on the right trajectory. I just don't know what it looks like to get to that point to earn the right that's the teams that you're getting to face. You see, it's all connected. So you've got to be right in the next 2.5 weeks to earn the right to get those games, whether it's in San Diego or Oklahoma City or Portland or Tampa or wherever they send you.
I like an opening round storyline with the Lumberjacks, and then if we can get a win, we'll deal with that crumb bum group of ragtag whatevers you were naming in that second bunch. And hey, here, Mr. Committee, Mr. Chairman, how about some fancy computer talk for you? We're going to beat the britches off these boys at home, and then we're going to pull off something weird on the road, at least 1 or 2. That's what I'm telling you. Your computer models need to take into account. All right. Don't want to get into too much industry jargon before we get out of here, Chris. Let's wrap her up. Thank you so much for an opportunity to catch up on this, what is truly ever-evolving landscape, seating-wise. And, yeah, we get one look at it, then it's like, no, it goes back into the closet for a little while.
Yeah.
And then we'll bring it back out. So it's kind of interesting to know where you stood sort of to start this home stretch run. And we'll see what they can do with it beginning Tuesday night at United Supermarkets Arena. We're going to get back to that coming up on our next episode as we get ready for one that will be tricky, will be bumpy. No doubt about that. So you better get ready for that type of ball game. Looking forward to it, and we'll see you then.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it. And, guns up. And it's all in your hands. It's all in your hands now if you're Grant and his boys and all that on the old seeding process. So here we go.
No doubt about that. Get subscribed on YouTube or anywhere you get podcasts. Speaking of something else, all in your hands. Never miss a thing by taking those simple steps today. Thank you to the everydayers and the all-the-timers and the Matador Mob for being out there along for the ride. Always find a link to a free 14-day trial in our show notes if you're interested in joining the mob. Your direct line to Chris and myself with one-on-one text sent straight to your phone. On the ground mob reporting, Cancun, Puerto Vallarta this week. We're thinking about you, baby. Guns up. Literally. Stay safe out there anywhere you may be. For Chris, I'm Casey. Thanks as always for the time, and we hope to see you back for the next round on Locked On Texas Tech.